of a new army battalion in Kwara State to strengthen security and tackle banditry, kidnapping, and other violent crimes. The battalion will be located in Omuaran, headquarters of Irepodo local government area, and is expected to boost troop deployment and military operations, particularly in areas affected by kidnappings and bandit attacks. Kwara State Governor Abdul Razak Abdurrahman, in a statement by the Deputy Chief Press Secretary Mashood Ogboala, he described the approval as another demonstration of the federal government's commitment to addressing security challenges in the state. The governor thanked President Tinubu for approving the new military formation, saying it would strengthen ongoing counter-terrorism and anti-kidnapping operations. Abdul Razak also commended the Chief of Army Staff, Waidi Shaibu, for the swift processing of the request and appreciated the Office of the National Security Advisor and National Security Advisor and other security agencies for their efforts to combat violent crime. He said security agencies will always carry out coordinated operations to rescue kidnapped victims and flush out criminal elements from forests across the states. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission has identified the Nigerian police force and 5 federal ministries and agencies as having the highest number of suspected fake workers uncovered during its payroll verification exercise. ICPC Chairman Musa Aliyu disclosed the findings while speaking on the Commission's investigation into payroll fraud across federal government institutions, according to a BBC Pidgin report on Wednesday. The Commission said it discovered suspected 908 ghost workers in at least 50 ministries, departments, and agencies, recovering about 942 million naira, allegedly paid as fraudulent salaries. According to the ICPC, ghost workers are fictitious names inserted into government payrolls to receive salary fraudulently. In some cases, salaries are allegedly diverted by officials who add relatives or associates to the payroll despite them not being employed. Aliyu said investigators uncovered one case involving a man who allegedly placed the names of his wife, son, and mother-in-law on the payroll while also collecting the salaries of 12 workers. Among the institutions identified, the Nigerian police force recorded the highest number of suspected fake workers. The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, has disclosed that more than 300,000 people are trafficked annually into online scam operations across Southeast Asia, generating an estimated $64 billion for its transformational network. Director General of NAPTIP, Binta Bello, made the disclosure on Wednesday at a press briefing ahead of 2026 World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, warning that cyber-enabled trafficking was becoming a growing global threat. She said victims of the trafficking networks are drawn from about 66 countries, with the highest number originating from Western and developed nations, while about 74% of identified scam compounds are concentrated in the Mekong region. Bello warned that the trend was gradually spreading to Nigeria and other African countries, making the fight against technology-driven human trafficking more urgent. She said the agency had uncovered a disturbing shift in trafficking patterns, with educated and highly skilled Nigerian youths increasingly being lured into fake social media advertisements, scholarship opportunities, and overseas employment schemes before being trafficked to countries including Myanmar, Cambodia, Thailand, and Laos. She explained that upon arrival, the passports are confiscated and they are subjected to threats, violence, debt bondage, and psychological coercion, forcing them to participate in online fraud schemes such as romance scams, cryptocurrency fraud, and investment scams. Highlighting NAPTIP's interventions, Bello said the agency rescued and repatriated more than 300 victims of cyber-enabled trafficking from neighboring countries, including Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, in 2025. She added that 156 additional victims had been rescued since January 2026 with support from foreign partners. The House of Representatives on Wednesday urged the federal government to adopt a comprehensive national drone industrialization policy as part of efforts to strengthen Nigeria's defense manufacturing capacity and enhance the country's response to growing security threats. The House also called for structured financial support for indigenous drone manufacturers, saying local companies required government backing to scale production and meet the operational needs of the armed forces and other security agencies. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion moved by Lagos lawmaker Ademorin Kuye on the need to develop a strategic drone industrialization policy for Nigeria. He noted that unmanned aerial vehicles, commonly known as drones, have become indispensable in modern warfare, intelligence gathering, surveillance, and counter-insurgency operations across the world. Koye warned that known state-armed groups, including Boko Haram and the Islamic State West Africa province, have already incorporated commercial drones into their operations against Nigerian troops, underscoring the urgency of developing indigenous drone manufacturing capacity. The House mandated its committees on defense, national security and intelligence, science and technology, and industry and commerce to work on the development of a national drone industrialization policy that will provide a clear roadmap for transforming Nigeria's drone manufacturing sector from its current entrepreneurial stage into a structured, state-supported strategic industry. The committees were also directed to collaborate with the Nigerian military and relevant government agencies to negotiate technology transfer agreements with reputable international drone manufacturers. The House of Representatives on Wednesday unveiled plans to investigate allegations of financial impropriety within the mining marshals and the reported discovery of over 2 billion naira in the bank account of a state commander of the unit. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion on the need to investigate the performance, funding, legal status, and alleged corrupt practices and compromise of the mining marshals, sponsored by Abdul Malik Danga. Danga noted that the state commander was merely redeployed following the allegation instead of a formal judicial inquiry, prosecution, or internal disciplinary action. This, he said, fueled allegations that the marshals have been compromised by affluent illegal mining syndicates. Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, who presided over the day's proceedings, mandated the Committee on Solid Minerals Development to carry out a comprehensive investigation into the actions and performance of the mining marshals across the country to determine whether they are operating within their lawful mandate. The committee is also expected to investigate allegations of corrupt enrichment, including the 2 billion naira account linked to a former state commander and similar cases of compromise across the 36 states and the FCT. The committee is to report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. The Senate has expanded the mandate of its ad hoc committee investigating the Safe Schools Initiative program and granted it a 3-week extension to conclude its assignment. Not only that, the Senate also is widening the scope of the probe to include the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, Nigerian Education Loan Fund, Universal Basic Education Commission, Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, and the National Social Investment Program Agency. The resolution followed a motion moved on the floor of the Senate by the chairman of the ad hoc committee, Orji Kalu, who is from APC, Abia North, on Tuesday, pursuant to Orders 41 and 51 of the Senate Standing Orders 2026 as amended, seeking an expansion of the committee's terms of reference and additional time to conclude its investigation. Presenting the motion, Senator Kalu informed the Senate that preliminary investigations by the committee had revealed significant intersections between the implementation and funding mechanisms of the Safe Schools initiative. The federal government also stated. He noted several federal institutions responsible for educational funding, student welfare, social intervention programs, and humanitarian support. He noted that investigating the Safe Schools initiative in isolation would result in an incomplete assessment of issues relating to school insecurity, educational infrastructure, and intervention programs designed to support vulnerable learners across the country. The committee is equally expected to audit infrastructure and security-related intervention projects funded by TED Fund across beneficiary tertiary institutions, assess NEL funds disbursement processes, operational readiness, administrative efficiency, and student access frameworks, UBEC in basic education. Responding, Senate President Godswill Akpabio sought the opinion of lawmakers on granting the committee additional time to conclude its work. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has said that revelations from the probe of the controversial Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council have exposed a federal government trapped by its own contradictions. Atiku, in a statement by his senior special assistant on public communication, Frank Shaibu, charged President Bola Tinubu to apologize to Nigerians for presiding over an alleged unprecedented collapse of public accountability. The CBN, while testifying before the House of Representatives ad hoc committee investigating the operations of the Phantom Agency, confirmed that it opened 2 domiciliary accounts for the PFIPC on the mandate of the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. However, Atiku, who is also the African Democratic Congress ADC 2027 presidential candidate, said the testimony of the Apex Bank contradicts the position of the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation on the issue. He implored the National Assembly to immediately summon the Accountant General of the Federation and the Governor of the Central Bank to appear together before its investigative committee under oath, so Nigerians can finally hear one truthful account. The ENUGU state government has flagged off the 2026 Free Agricultural Input Distribution Program aimed at boosting food production and supporting farmers across the state's 260 political wards. The initiative, which is the third of its kind under Governor Peter Mbah's administration, will see over 63,000 registered farmers receive improved seedlings, fertilizers, chemicals, and other agricultural inputs free of charge. Correspondent Chinemerem Ikegbunam has the reports.
The atmosphere at the flag-off ceremony was filled with excitement as government officials, traditional rulers, farmer groups, and stakeholders in the agriculture sector gathered to witness the distribution of agric inputs to practicing farmers. Chairman of ENUGU North Local Government Area and host local government for the flag-off, Ibena Akuno, commended Governor Peter Mbah for his commitment to the development of agriculture in the state. The chairman of the Agricultural Input Distribution Committee, Romanu Seba, disclosed that over 63,000 registered farmers across the state will benefit from the program. The input, he said, includes improved cassava stems, vegetable seedlings, including tomatoes and peppers, as well as organic fertilizers designed to promote sustainable farming practices.
On behalf of the good people of ENUGU North Local Government Area and also the farmers that are here, Your Excellency, we welcome you. And as the council chairman, when these things come to our various local governments and our various wards, we will ensure that these things get to the people who you have designed them for.
You once mentioned that you want to fight insecurity through food security, which is a better way of fighting insecurity.
Speaking on behalf of the farmers in the state, Emmanuel Ene expressed appreciation to Governor Peter Mbah for prioritizing the welfare of farmers. Ene urged beneficiaries to make proper use of the inputs and avoid selling them, stressing that the program was designed to improve food production and the livelihood of farmers.
What I'm saying precisely, I want to warn our farmers, make sure that these inputs that you use judiciously. If you try to sell it, you go to jail, and go to jail and jail.
The Commissioner for Agriculture and Agro-Industrialization, Dr. Patrick Ubro, described the program as a key component of Governor Mbah's agricultural transformation agenda. The Commissioner disclosed that more than 84,000 farmers have been digitally profiled, with over 48,000 already integrated into the state's geographic information system for proper planning, support services, and access to agricultural interventions.
Under the leadership of His Excellency, this administration is strengthening every link in the agricultural value chain. Beyond input support, he has established a modern seed testing lab at the ministry there and seed gallery.
Flagging off the distribution, Governor Peter Mba stated that agriculture is projected to contribute significantly to the state's gross domestic product, promoting the investments in farm estates, mechanization, irrigation, and free input distribution. He encouraged young people to embrace agriculture, describing the sector as a modern and profitable enterprise capable of creating jobs and wealth.
We have to migrate our smallholder farmers from subsistence method of farming to mechanized method of farming, which is why we invested also in the machineries. You know that today we assemble tractors in ENUGU State.
Stakeholders at the event described the program as another significant step towards achieving food sufficiency and positioning ENUGU as a leading agricultural and agro-industrial hub in Nigeria.
For Misuso, we have over 4,000 farmers that are going to benefit across the various works and across various chains. It is going to turn ENUGU State into agricultural produce estate, and it will help to alleviate the suffering and poverty of our people.
The initiative aligns with the administration's vision of building a modern agricultural economy driven by innovation, technology, mechanization, strategic partnerships, and sustainable farming practices. In Enugu, Chinemeremi Kebunam, Signature TV News.
Still to come, Congo says nearly 1,000 die of Ebola. Confirmed cases rise to 2,473. Morocco urges investigation after arrested national dies in Bologna. Lebanon, Israel to hold next talks in Italy on August 4. Lebanese official says. Stay with us.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
At least 999 people have died from Ebola outbreak in Congo, according to official data published overnight into Wednesday, a grim toll in what's already been declared the fastest Ebola outbreak in history. The latest update from Congo's Ministry of Health shows that as of Monday, 2,473 cases have been recorded in the latest outbreak. 999 people have died. At least 737 patients are currently in isolation and hospitals, it said. The outbreak declared on May 15 is unlike most previous Ebola outbreaks because the virus responsible for it has no approved vaccines or treatments. It has also killed more people at a quicker rate than any outbreak on record, including the 2013 to 2016 outbreak that is considered the worst on record, with over 11,000 deaths out of at least 28,000 cases. That outbreak took about 8 months to reach 1,000 deaths. Ebola is rare but highly contagious and can be contracted through body fluids such as vomit, blood, or semen. The disease it causes is severe and often fatal. Officials have also warned that 80% of new cases have emerged through unknown chains of transmission, a sign the outbreak is spreading faster than health officials can track it, even as they step up their response in Ituri province, the epicenter of the outbreak, as well as in 4 other provinces where cases have been recorded. Morocco is demanding that Italian authorities explain the death of one of the kingdom's nationals during his arrest in Bologna, an event that has led to massive protests in the northern Italian city. The Morocco's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said on Tuesday that it has asked Italy to fully clarify the details of 42-year-old Abderrahim Fakir's death and determine responsibility. The ministry also called on Rome to take appropriate legal measures after Fakir was tackled to the ground by police and died. Moreover, the Moroccan embassy in Italy said it is in the interest of everyone that full light be shed on the tragedy by establishing the full circumstances of the events with rigor, impartiality, and transparency. On the same day, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni called for the truth right to the end in the post on X, calling his death unacceptable. However, Ilaria Cucci, an MP from the opposition Green and Left Alliance, accused Meloni and her right-wing coalition government of pursuing policies steeped in hatred and racism that have aided in creating a climate of violence. That's the wrap on Global News. I am Christopher Lele. Thanks for watching.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on eVibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
I should try harder, so...
Okay, I don't know that one.
Outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hub's on eVibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
Tired of the snow? Tired of the bad TV signals? Nigeria has gone digital. Introducing Free TV, the national platform for every Nigerian. Get 100 plus channels immediately. Sports, news, and entertainment in your native language. All with clear picture quality. Whether you're in the city or the village, our satellite signal reaches every corner of 36 states from day one. No monthly subscription, just a compatible decoder and you are set. It's a national asset built for you. Take the show on the road, download the Free TV app and stream your favorite channels anywhere. Starting this May, scan to download the app or call 0700 388 7277. Free TV, digital TV for free. Brought to you by NBC.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them, at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
Signature TV, news in your pocket. Signature TV, news in your pocket.
New every morning on Signature TV, we open the day for you with needed energy, information, and required vibes to shape your day. From sizzling snippets of stories in various areas of life to intriguing conversations with net worth guests.
When you have people who have no track record becoming your leaders, you have a problem.
There's no outstanding gratuity when Obi took over from me. I left in all the accounts of Anambra State 13.8 billion for him.
Your day cannot be complete without Signature Morning on weekdays and Signature New Day on weekends. There is no better way to start your day except Signature Morning and Signature New Day every day on Signature TV.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Welcome once again to The Sage. I'm Dr. Kechi Obuagu, your guide on this extremely exciting journey. A journey that's been filled with discoveries. Discoveries that have made us hopeful, made us proud to be Nigerians, to be part of such wonderful people who have graced this show and come to share their lives and their experience with you. Today, in continuation on a series about young entrepreneurs in particular, we are focusing on a topic that I, perhaps as a lady, even if it's an old one, find joy in. The issue of beauty, the issue of looking after yourself, the issue of being an African proud to be in her or his skin. We have a wonderful guest who's going to share her experience with you. But before I talk about the exciting guest we have lined up for you, let me again take you back on a journey of reflection. We as Africans have begun to try to, in a way, find our lost identity. And I think perhaps nowhere does it show more than in African women or African women of African descent all over the world. As a young girl in the 60s, we grew up when people like Billie Jean King was the famous actress in the scene and began to try to be African. She would do her hair with bows and beautiful things in it. And then we moved into the 70s, which was again an adventure of redefining our African identity. As a young girl in the 60s myself, in the university, we spotted huge afros. I don't know how many of you remember that. Huge afros. And so it has been. Trying to retain and assert the beauty of our African genes and African heritage. Our curly hair, our black skin. Many of you would remember the concept that, was all over the world. Black is beautiful. It is beautiful and continues to be beautiful. But perhaps never more than at this time in history has the black identity solidified so much. In fact, I am proud to identify now with the millions of other black people and people of black origin who have been able to stand up there with our heads held high and say that, in fact, black is even more beautiful. Whether it's in terms of what we do with our hair, the braids, the styles are unending. And I like to think that what I have on is a testimony to that. Or whether it's in the sheer glamour and beauty and color of what we wear as Africans. We love color, we love the petals, and it identifies us. And in Nigeria, I think I am probably proudest of Nigeria in the whole world. Perhaps because I'm a Nigerian, but what about our geles and our head ties? They're incomparable. We are beautiful, and we are proud of that beauty that is inherent in our black skins, in our brown skins, in our curly hair, in all the many, many ways we can wear it. We can wear our hair curly, we can straighten it. My daughter says the sheer patterns and styles you can do is in itself a gift. So welcome to the show. We have with us today in this episode a truly exciting young lady who agrees with me I wouldn't have brought her to the show if you didn't agree. In the fact that black is beautiful. And that black is special. And because it is, our skin requires special care, special products. Our hair requires special care, special products that define us. She is a truly inspiring young lady. Stay with us. In the next segment, we will bring this young lady to you. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. At the end of the last segment, I promised to unveil this wonderful young lady to you. A lady that I love being with because she makes me feel good. She tells me what's good for my hair. She tells me what's good for my skin. An inspiring young lady who is passionate about making the black person, the black lady, beautiful. Please join me in welcoming Oma Ayegba to the studio. I always say her name wrong, but that's all right.
You said it right. Thank you for
this
having
time.
me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Oma. Thank you. I will say Oma now to be on the safe side.
Okay.
Thank you for being here. And please tell us about yourself. Tell us a little about yourself.
My name is Oma Ayegba, the founder and formulator for Decure Cosmetics. I am a graduate of psychology turned formulator. Funny, right? Funny enough, I didn't like sciences coming up, but here I am formulating cosmetics, you know. But I studied psychology from National State University and from Kogi State.
Okay, that's great. I'm sure the psychology of cosmetics is an important field of study.
Yes, it is. For one, you have to feel good about yourself.
Okay, that is half the battle.
That is half the battle, yeah. So,
yeah. So it's true. But tell us, why cosmetic? What made you decide to go into that?
Okay, growing up, I battled with a lot of skin issues, a lot of acne, skin reaction to all manner of stuff, you know, and I kept spending a lot of money on a lot of things. Today I'll use this, I'll break out the more. So when after university I started working, you know, before I was using my parents' money for school, it was easy for me to come around it and everything. So I started researching into reasons why I am even breaking out. I react practically to everything.
Okay.
I react to even black soap. I react to almost everything. So I told myself I was going to own my beauty someday.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that.
I started to own my beauty. So I started researching and understanding why I was reacting to these things. I buy a product, I look at the ingredient list, and then I try to research on each ingredient to know which of them I could be reacting to. So when I decided I was going to own my beauty, I decided I was going to determine what goes into my skin and my hair. That way, I determine what happens to my skin. I own my own beauty. Nobody tells me what goes into my skin anymore. That is how I started. It started like a joke. I started formulating for just myself. Then, you know, I'll formulate and then it will be too much for me. I'll give to family and friends. They'll use it, they'll like it, and then I'm like, okay, I think there is market for me here. There is need for this. People, you know, Africans are generally accepting their beauty now. We are no longer interested in foreign things. We are accepting our hair texture the way it is. We are accepting our skin color. As a matter of fact, people who use things to alter their skin color are now trying to go back to their original color.
Wow.
Yes, we are owning our beauty.
Great.
We are owning our beauty, and I'm happy it's happening in my time.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and people like you are encouraging it and making it possible.
Yes, because for people like us, we are telling you that your skin, like I tell some people, in another 10-20 years, we are going to have a lot of skin issues that we need to solve because of damage that has been done in the past. So now, let us start doing the same way we are going after eating healthy. Our skin also should be healthy, right? What, like things like shea butter, for instance, in some places they use it to cook. People eat shea butter, right?
Yeah.
Coconut oil,
Yeah.
you eat, right? So most of these
Olive
things,
oil, all of them.
you know, you
Yeah.
eat these things. So if it's good enough for you to eat, it should be good enough for your skin, and it should be good enough for your hair. Right. So what we try to do, what I try to do as a formulator is like shea butter is one ingredient. Just like you going into your kitchen and trying to make vegetable soup, you have palm oil. You won't use palm oil to eat your semo. You need other ingredients to make it delicious. So what I, as a formulator, do is I bring these ingredients together, these same ingredients together to create skin and hair products.
Okay. Where did you find the skill? I mean, did you have
first,
to? Yeah.
Yes, I did. First, I started doing videos from YouTube. But as I was growing, I realized I didn't need that. I had gone beyond that. I needed more. The more I do these things, the more I feel the need to research. So I took courses. I have certifications from La Botanica. I got from Institute of Cosmetic Science. And then recently, the most recent certification is from Fragrance Bar, sponsored by Conversation for Change. I'm sure you are aware of that. So yes.
We shall hear more about that.
Yes,
we shall
yes. So
yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited, and I think we'll take a break.
Okay.
When we come back, we will want to see and hear a bit more about these your wonderful products.
All right.
Stay with us. We'll be back. Welcome back. I'm excited. I can hardly wait to hear all the trade secrets. So you told us about using yourself as the guinea pig to begin with, and you really testing and mixing all kinds of products, finding what works for you so that you are no longer reacting, so that you have the beautiful skin that is obvious to all of us.
Thank you.
So what are the products? Tell us more about what are those detailed products you have now.
Okay, for skin, I have shower gels for bathing. I have body butters for this season, this Harmattan season. When I say body butter, it's not just like whipping butters together. It is emulsified. It is water-based, so your skin is not feeling so greasy. You know, so we have the body butter, an emulsified body butter. We have exfoliating body scrubs.
Okay.
You know, whether, you know, product, they clog our pores. We need to unclog them every once in a while. So we need these scrubs. For acne.
Can people with as old as me still benefit?
Yes, mommy, yes, you do. You do. It's for everybody apart from babies.
Okay.
Below 12 years. I don't encourage that because their skin is still very tender. They don't need this. They don't need things like that. But we have products for babies too. We have shower gels for babies. We have body butters for babies. We have hair care products for babies. Especially for babies that always cry when you comb their hair. We have detanglers. We have, as a matter of fact, I have a formula that I'm bringing into the market now. It's called Don't Be Naughty. It means your hair shouldn't be naughty.
Okay.
So
the naughty is the hair.
Yeah, the naughty is the hair. So it's called Don't Be Naughty Hair Detangler.
Okay.
Yeah, it's targeted at children. Because I run a salon, most parents bring their children and they are always complaining, when I comb my hair, she's always crying, you know. So when you use detanglers, I have product that when you use, it's easy for you to comb their hair. They don't need to cry, they don't need to, you know. So we have product for natural hair, we have product for processed hair, we have product for damaged hair. We've used, before now, most people were using relaxers, texturizers, colors, all manner of things on their hair. So we've had to deal with damaged hair. As a matter of fact, a lot of people are now battling with serious damaged hair. So we have products for that also. You know, if you decide to still use to relax your hair, you should also be able to keep it healthy.
Yeah.
So we have product for that. So our product is not just for people who carry natural hair. So even if your hair is chemically processed, we still have products for you to just keep it healthy, to keep the hair healthy. So yeah, We have those two. We also have products for men.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
My product is for
so
everybody.
they're not left out.
They're not left out. No. We have products for men. The men are now going bearded.
Yeah, I noticed that's a trend.
Yes, it's a trend right now.
Yeah.
So, yes. So for grooming their beards, we have products. We have beard balms. We have beard oil. We have beard moisturizers. We have body butters for men also. Some men will tell you, I don't use anything apart from Vaseline. No problem. We have products that you don't need to spend 5 minutes applying it on your body. If you use petroleum jelly, then you should be able to use our body butter. You know,
and they're affordable, eh?
Very, very affordable. That is the thing. Mom, you don't know my plan is to chase all the foreign products out of Nigeria.
Woo!
They are very, very affordable, yes, because most of our ingredients are sourced locally.
Okay.
Yeah, so that makes them very affordable.
Tell me, how did you build the structure to your business? I mean, you've talked about the products, but how did you ensure that you're functioning in a way that it's going to be a potentially profitable business? What helped you towards that?
Before now, I was producing on a small scale. I was battling. I was making from my kitchen. You know, I'll make for like lotions. I make like 3-4 liters. You know, until one fateful day when on social media I found Conversation for Change that they were helping youths to expand, to train them and everything. And I just said, let me apply. I've tried such things, and then most times I won't get stuck. I don't finish it up. But when I clicked on that button to apply, I realized that the requirements were very few. So I applied and then forgot about it. Then I got an email. I went for the interview, got in, and then they started training me. What I thought I knew before I unlearned.
You had to unlearn it.
I had to unlearn it because the kind of people they brought in to train us were, I couldn't afford them on my own. Things I thought I knew, I unlearned and learned new things. Then C4C sent me for another training in formulation. And after that, they gave me a seed grant to get me a 100-liter mixing machine. So now I can afford to make in large quantity and reach more people and make more money.
That is great. And are you employing anybody?
Yes, I can't do that alone. When I was doing from my kitchen, I was using spatula to mix. Now I have machines. I need people to man them. I need men that will be able to lift the heavy this thing to pour in the machines. I'm getting more raw materials. I won't be able to do that by myself. So I had to employ people.
That is good.
To do these things for me. Packaging. If I was bottling 10 a day, now I'm bottling 100.
Wow.
I have a family. I have to take care of my family.
And this is within the space of
just a few months.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Now I can't bottle all that. I can't be making the product, bottling and then marketing it or making deliveries to customers. No. So I had to employ more people to do that.
And probably your training allowed you to conceive all of that, recognize that you needed all kinds of personnel to also support and expand the business.
Part of the training, they brought in someone that taught us on human resources.
Okay.
So that angle was taken care of, because after that I knew that I needed to outsource most of the things I was doing. Then another person was brought in that taught us on financing.
Okay.
How to handle our finances, how to set our pricing.
Okay.
That was very, very important. That pricing impact.
Absolutely.
It was very, very important because before I was making and I thought I was making profits until I had that class. I realized that I wasn't selling right.
Okay.
Yes. So the training helped me to restructure my pricing. So I wasn't losing too much, and I wasn't how would I put it? Overcharging, yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So yes, I was on the balance. So
this is exciting. This is exciting. We will have a break. We will have a lax break, and when we come back, we will take you up again, learn a little bit more. Were there any challenges, and so on and so forth. Stay with us. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. But I know you've been enjoying, like I have, this exciting journey down beauty lane. That's what I want to call it. I'm already itching. I think for sure I'm going to be more beautiful from today. I'm going to sample her products.
You decide to own your beauty from today.
I used to think I did already, but I'm willing to learn some more.
Okay.
It's been wonderful, truly wonderful. Jokes apart, I think you've been courageous, and you've recorded great success.
Okay.
Have there been any challenges along the way, or was it just easy pansy?
If any business person tells you it has been easy pansy, please, I want to meet that person because it hasn't been easy. We've had a lot of challenges, but the one that I want to talk about was the COVID. The COVID came and it almost crushed us in the beauty industry, because I also run a salon, and people have to come in. My salon is where people come to test my products. So people were no longer coming in. I couldn't reach out to people. Business was declining, and then I'll still talk about conversation for change. After my trainings with them, there was follow-up and everything. And then during the pandemic, I got a call or a message saying if I had any challenges, we could brainstorm and work something out, And then we had that meeting, and there was an eye-opener for me. It was there I realized that, okay, even if people couldn't come to me, I could go to them with my market, with my business. I figured out a way to reach out to people. And before the COVID, I was making just skin and hair. I wasn't thinking of sanitizers. Because after the brainstorming, I realized, I could actually make sanitizers, because at this time, this is when people are going to really need these sanitizers, So
that became part of the things you formulate.
Yes, it became part of the things I formulated, and I didn't just formulate it myself. I formulated it, and those clients that were no longer coming, I decided to send to them to remind them that I was still in the market.
Okay.
And so I sent some sanitizers to them, and then reminded them that you could actually still make your hair while you're at home. Just get the product to teach you how to use these things in the house. So that was how we managed to
survive that period of lockdown.
Yeah.
So this is truly exciting, and I can see you're going places.
Thank you.
And so I wonder, is there room for people to invest? And I mean, unless you think you have all the money you need, is there room for people to invest so that the business can grow?
Remember I said my plan was to chase most of the foreign products out of Nigeria, right? I can't do that on my own.
Absolutely.
We need to come together to do that, to achieve that. We need to make Nigeria a better place. We need to make Nigeria. We need business. If I have investors, I'll expand and I will employ more people, and there will be the issue of unemployment will be reduced greatly. So yes, I need investors. I really need investors.
Great. So for many of our viewers out there, this is somewhere you can reach out to Oma. We're displaying her contact. Apart from the great cosmetics and other products that she has, it's also somewhere that you can invest some money, and definitely it will go places. Before I let you get off the hot seat, do you have a few last words for some of our viewers out there, other young people like you? What would you say to them?
If you're out there, you are a mother, a housewife, a young adult who just finished school, and you're saying there's nothing for me to do, there are so many things for you to do. I chose to own my beauty, and I took this journey. You can, as a housewife, you can also learn to formulate and own your time and your beauty. You can do from your kitchen. A lot of big brands still operate from the kitchen. So if you are a housewife thinking of what to do not just sit and say that the government is not providing jobs. You need to create a job for yourself. If you're a young adult who just finished school and you're looking for a job and you're saying, no jobs, I've been submitting CVs, look within you. There's something you can do for the country. You can give back to the country. You can create these jobs. You don't have to sit and wait for the government to come knocking at your door, or some uncle somewhere who probably has his own issues to give you some money to spend. No. On your own time, get something doing for yourself. You don't need so much to start.
Wonderful advice. Wonderful advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
And so to all our viewers out there, we thank Oma. It's been wonderful listening to her passion. So it's been wonderful. Let's celebrate ourselves. Let's celebrate our innate beauty. Let's celebrate being Black. Let's celebrate life. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Until the next time.
Thank you.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on e-vibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
I should try harder. So
Okay, I don't know that one.
outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hub's on e-vibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
Tired of the snow? Tired of the bad TV signals? Nigeria has gone digital. BC.
Welcome to Signature Morning. I'm really excited, and today happens to be International Ice Cream Day, Vanilla Ice Cream Day. And I want to ask Mark Ginger in the house now. You are the doctor. All right, just for a brief second, just a few seconds. If today happens, okay, today is International Ice Cream Day. Do you see ice cream as what you recommend people to take? Because I don't think there's anything wrong doing harm for just once in a long time.
Well, ice cream has never been like a source of diet. It was not produced to be a source of diet. It was some kind of indulgence. You know, for younger people, I mean, they have the freedom of health. The oracle.
My age, you know,
when last
find ice cream.
He has interest for abacha.
We can you're not coming home with certain things for the Christian fathers like us.
All right, good morning, beautiful viewers. Welcome to Signature Morning on Signature Television. My name is Christopher Lele, and of course, we have the Oracle himself.
I'm Christian Chibuzo Maruka. Welcome to another day on Signature Morning.
My name is Dr. Mark Ginger Ibeneme. It's always so nice to have you here on Signature TV Morning Show.
All right, and we'll be jumping off to come back for the newspaper review itself. Please don't go nowhere. And straight on the newspaper review, we have the Punch newspaper. That's our first paper we're looking at this morning, the Punch newspaper. On the Punch newspaper, the major story here says, fake agency probe. ICPC team grills embattled DG inside police detention. And the writer here says, Adeyemi squeezed for hours. Interrogation continues today. Adeyemi quizzed for hours. Interrogation continues today. Reps to question Akume Ribadu, Fagbemi Disu, Accountant General today. And another one says, controversial DG gets new lawyer. Article tackles Tinubu over phantom agency controversy. Right, that's just about that on the Punch, on the major story here. Another story says, Trump hails Tinubu over anti-terror war. Police top list as ICPC uncovers 908 ghost workers. All right, Dangote resumes a Naira petrol sales, hikes price by 140 Naira. Crackdown on cultists. Police arrest 3, seize firearms in Lagos. Ondo Speaker gets Sunday deadline to resign or face impeachment. All right, these and more you can find on the Punch newspaper once you grab a copy. Well, one of the stories here that's getting to me is Trump hailing Tinubu over anti-terror war. This was done like on the 6th of July, and then the presidency put it out yesterday. You know, he was telling Tinubu, the administration, that was going to stand by him, and he was impressed with the effort he's making so far. And this got me thinking. I want to believe it will get many Nigerians thinking too. Could it be, this current administration is trying really hard to fight, the banditry and insurgency we are facing? What if this administration is actually doing as much as they could, but somehow you're not really seeing the effect because somehow it just doesn't get to you, but it is trying its best. I want to believe it is.
Chris, believe whatever you want to believe. I can't stop you from believing.
But you know how opinionated Trump is. For Trump to have sent a message, to tell him that he will stand by him and support this. I want to believe he's seen efforts from his end.
Trump has never been kidnapped.
Now, even what I'm trying to say is good, beautiful. You really require Big Brother Trump to give you pass mark before you. Is that not what we need at this time? What we want is to see our government, feel our government, breathe their actions, see it, touch it, in every while, see them doing something. You don't just play to the gallery for Trump to come and thump up before you now start. How many Nigerians have died before Trump say, I'm going to support you? Who is going to replace them? All the property and things and human beings. Who is going to replace the ones who have been beheaded and kidnapped?
Maybe those ones are clapping in their grave. Yesterday I saw Mr. Daniel Buala, on what's it called? Channels Television, being grilled by Shane. And, he refused to answer any other questions except to discuss the Trump hailing of Mr. President. I mean, I do not have anything against someone celebrating whatever he or she wants to celebrate. But security is something you feel. It's not something you are told about. You feel safe or you feel unsafe. And we've seen increasing number. There's no day in Nigeria without some abductions going on, especially the abduction of, helpless school children, women, and other vulnerable populations. So that Trump said you are making effort. Nigerians don't feel that way because almost everybody is at the risk of being abducted in Nigeria. Yesterday, I saw a newsreel of lists of army officers that have been killed in different ambushes since 2015 by either Boko Haram or other militant organizations. If the presidency is doing a lot, well, kudos. However, we want to see Nigeria back to the era of no abductions, no terrorism, no killings, and no raids by Fulani herdsmen. As a Nigerian, that's all I want.
When there are some people that when I wake up in the morning and people are talking and referring to them, it starts to spoil my morning. Buala has no credit or credibility to speak about credible issues about Nigeria. And people keep pushing such people at the front to just mess Nigeria up. We require more people who speak something Nigerians will understand to talk to us about the right issues. I'm very sorry to say that there's nothing personal, but when you bring those who speak from both sides of their mouth, how do you expect 240 million Nigerians to believe them? There are certain issues that has to do with issues like security. You look for at least some people that can command credit and respect. It's not just bring anybody. And okay, look at what you said. He was in a 1 hour interview. He will choose
the question
because and then choose that Trump has credited us. Trump has credited us. What happened to other leaders of the world? What happened to your colonial master UK? Don't they have a leader? What happens to the AU? How many presidents do we have in AU? 54. See, how many of them have credited you?
A post-colonial mentality to anchor your security ratings based on whether Trump is hailing you or not. I mean, there should be practical indices you should be rolling out to Nigerians. At least number of abductions, significant reduction of number of abductions as the months increase.
And they put out the data and tell us that. Did they tell us that how much millions they spent to London Nigerians' image? Now, how did they come about that Trump is now hailing? Did Nigeria ever agree that we are facing extinction from this war?
I mean, a number of northern states have been calling on the presidency to, duplicate the rescue that they carried out. But beyond that, the doubts and the controversy of that or your incident is still uncleared. Yeah. I mean, the governor came out clearly to say that he wants a probe. Why did this happen? How did it happen? Where did it happen? And who was involved?
And everybody wanted to muffle the man.
Nobody did cut off his name. So there are so many issues that we do not necessarily require a Trump to tell us about. We are Nigerians. We are living in Nigeria. We can feel the security or the insecurity going on around us.
Okay, so just to add to them, the president approved the establishment of a new army battalion in Kwara State to strengthen security and banditry, kidnapping, and other violent, crimes in that state.
That reminds me of what Mr. Wokabia said here the other day on the show, that Nigeria embarks on a lot of declarative, policy. And that's a jackboot reaction to issues. Personally, I'm not a security expert, but I do not think that the problem of insecurity has to do with the lack of, army barracks all over the place, because the truth is that security should be 90% intelligence and 10% boot on the ground. And that's not what we're having here. And this is a matter of internal security. The security, in my thinking, our security architecture or the security efforts have largely failed because of lack of adequate intelligence. With counterintelligence, we can really, really deal with this insurgency, not creating army barracks here and there. I mean, there are places you have. I remember those days in Jos, because I lived in Jos. The attacks from the Fulani militants happened like less than 1 kilometer away from army barracks, from army checkpoints. You have several army formations, military formations around Jos. Still, these massacres, they continue to happen without sufficient intelligence on ground. Nigeria should invest on tech. Nigeria should invest in intelligence, because this is cheaper and more efficient than creating a whole barrack. Deployed army people. Even when you kind of sequestrate them into an enclave, we've seen increasing incidents of attacks of army barracks and army checkpoints, because the people you refuse to, or you fail to carry out significant efficient intelligence on, they would rather do the reverse intelligence on the military formations and they attack them.
As Nigerian security apparatuses and from army, navy and all, have they cleaned themselves up of the repentant terrorists and bandits they put in? How can somebody carry squirrel in your pocket when you're going to plant seeds? How can, and when are we going to even think of that? The army, even among them, the army, some of them that are really good people and the patriotic Nigerians are feeling unsafe, because you look back, are you always looking at your back? You don't know who is the next man.
You may be right, because the ambushes, it shows some top-notch, it would appear that the people who ambush, these militants that ambush the military convoys or military checkpoints, that they have some kind of, technical information about the movement of the military personnel for them to ambush. And this can only come from possibly, moles within the rank and file. So it has never, in fact, Nigeria is probably the only place you see the reintegration of established terrorists in the scale at which it happened in Nigeria. And I mean, it leaves a lot to desire that, this person is a murderer, a criminal, a mass murderer that has, not only attacked the country, but have carried out mass massacre of Nigerians, including women and children. And for some reason, you catch him and then you say that he's now repented and you are going to integrate him into... It's more like rewarding, criminality.
Okay. I think we go to the next. You still have some. The next newspaper, Vanguard, says, okay, it's another bold headline there. Trump vows to stand with Nigeria in anti-war. I mean, everybody would like to take that to the bank. But we have this 2027 Obi Kwakwanso's ticket, dead on arrival. And guess who is saying this? Ganduje, Gandu Bros, Gandu D. He has made that statement. I didn't say, I just said Gandu D is my friend. Nigeria drops to 90th in the latest global passport ranking. What does that mean? We're going to talk about it. The Zenith Bank was Africa's best bank, retains Nigeria's top banking award. Our bankers are going smiling away to the banks, and Nigerians who are banking are always in agony. We're going to look at that. Then another thing about PFIPC scandal. Apologize, resign now. Atiku battles.
This has continued to be the big elephant in the room, because the truth is that in a Senate climb, this is enough to bring down this presidency. But we are seeing a situation that nobody has been sacrificed. There is no resignation. There is no sacking of anybody. There's not even serious. I mean, the president himself has not come out to address the nation over this scale of scandal. It's only Nigeria that can sit upon this kind of thing, and we are speaking grammar here. So I am happy that the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, just like some other Nigerians, have not given any room for the presidency to just sweep this under the carpet. And I think I support his call for the resignation of the president. There couldn't have been any bigger scandal in Nigerian governance in a long while than this one.
Well, we wait that to happen. You said something ideal about senile, or is it sane? Yeah. Then you have to determine who is sane in Nigeria. We'll come to that. Igbo governors to fully support Tinubu in 2027, says Uzodimma.
It's always those who cannot
I didn't finish
free and fair election.
Before my DJ is like, okay, go ahead. I mean,
Igbo governors. Well, I'm happy he said Igbo governors, not Igbo people, because but surprisingly, these governors continue to think, even when history shows otherwise, that they can influence or control, how Igbos vote. We know it that over the years that. Even though most of these the sitting governors succeed in staying put in their seats, they've never been able to control how Igbos vote in the general election.
It's the most important thing I pick from what you said, and I'm happy. You say Igbo governors will support Tinubu. They are not sure what the Igbos will do, people, because Igbos are Republicans, and then they are people of their own mind. And it even takes them up to 5 minutes before the election is over to decide what to do. So it will be foolhardy of anybody to predict that Igbos will.
Let's even think about it this way. Let's even think about it this way. I mean, the last election, we saw the pattern of voting in Igbo land, and it's another 4 years. What has changed to even suggest any remarkable departure from that voting pattern? Is it that there is improvement in the life of the people? Or is it that there is an unprecedented infrastructure development that these governors have done better, or the president has really singled Igbos out to do anything unprecedented? Or is it that the quality of life has improved, that the presidency is doing so well? or that presidency has solved the problem of insecurity, that the Igbos now live better in Lagos and other southwestern states. What exactly has the presidency or the president?
Yeah, or that those who were killed during the elections
has
because
he proven anything wrong?
The profile
they
that
didn't trust
killed
him that time. Now he has been president and he has been able to, kind of mesmerize us, and we are now going to vote for him. Well, election is around the corner.
I'm not surprised to get this from him because he's the Renewed Hope ambassador. So of course you represent your boss and say what you expect your boss to hear. But at the end of the day, the Igbo governors, not just the governors, the people, the citizens, they have the final say to decide to vote for who they think is right to take the seat.
It also tells a lot about, like what you said, Chris, as somebody who is supposed to be governor of Imo State, Southeast Nigeria. The next thing is that you are Renewed Hope ambassador, and that's what determines what you say and do. And then the other 5 million people in the state or thereabout, we now have to join you to ambassador for hope, that they are still struggling over a lot of times. I don't know how many of them have seen the hope.
But if
Nigeria hope is selective. Whichever side you are, you get the hope. So it depends on what is. If all the Imo State people or the Imolites, they call themselves, have seen the hope, good luck. Who am I?
If you remember in the last election, or just before the last election, there was the time that, thousands and thousands of, IDEC registered voters cards were discovered in different clandestine places in Imo State. We've also seen, a lot of forged results before elections coming out of Imo State. And I want to look at the things that were not said in what was said by the governor. When you mean support, is this support to campaign? Or is this support to cook election results? I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that this support, there may be a lot said, on top of what was
in the voice of what my professor said, the support all the same.
Support all the same.
Then again, I think we should give these politicians a break, because if we are to think of these things perspectively.
Did you say that? Give politicians a break.
Yes. This is the angle I'm coming in, because if you are to think at it, think about it like this. This man is coming from this party. What do you expect? Your party has to win. That's where you're coming from. And if you have to convince and persuade, you will have to, as long as you're doing it in a legal standard.
Chris, who put this in your mouth? Politicking without conscience is devilish. Everything we do should have.
Yeah, but
there's an order. There's always an order, even in madness. But we don't find where people are blindly going about talking on behalf of everybody. When you are just
imagine what about the sensibilities of the Igbos? That is even insulting to assume that you can speak on my behalf, especially when you are not offering me anything tangible. See, we are not against who anybody chooses to support. Like that's the case we have against Omahi. There are careless statements. There are statements and there are careless statements. You don't come up to try to tell the Igbos, command the Igbos, instruct the Igbos, or condition the Igbos on what to think or whom to vote. You don't do a thing like that.
By the way, McGinger, you're talking to the lion of the Southeast. let's look at the other thing. River State 2027, Fubara declares membership of Wike's Rainbow Coalition. Beautiful. And the other one, before you go, I am not a criminal. My life is in danger. Achimugu. So put the two of them together.
But I don't want to talk about who is a criminal or who is not a criminal. But I think it's the duty of the police to protect the lives and property of even the criminals and non-criminals who have not been convicted legitimately by early knockouts. So Achimugu should settle his cause with the Nigerian states. Nigerians will be there to continue to call.
What of the so-called Phantom GG and the Phantom, but he's being grilled in the police cell?
No,
is it Phantom also?
The DG
is he not require the right to be brought out? And
no,
why are they saying?
I was reported that started eluding court. Remember that his lawyer resigned. His case, I think, is a different thing.
He's gotten a new lawyer. Yeah. Why is he still being grilled inside? Now, I'm talking about...
But see, the law will follow a precedent. I think that he gave room for that to happen. It's not automatic. He cannot enjoy what he has already lost the opportunity to enjoy. If you are invited and you know you are honest, the least you can do is go there with your lawyers so that people will see that you brought yourself here. And in that way, the security apparatus will be careful with you not to mishandle you. But this man suggested that he was trying to run away. So naturally, he was restrained and kept into even protective custody. And he's being grilled, he's being interviewed. That's what the law should do. But we are saying that beyond all this, there should be an independent audit of what has.
That's
of what
that's
has
coming
happened.
back. So your friend has joined the Rainbow. When are you going to form the spectrum? Because so that we won't be quoted as forming a brand name, another brand. It's now Rainbow for Wike. When are you going to find color spectrum, another color spectrum, so that we join you?
I think the thing there is about Fubara, and that tells you that the character of certain politicians. From how Fubara emerged as the governor of Rivers State and has continued to shift ground, he quickly fell out with his benefactor, Mr. Wike, and he has continued to. This week he's begging Wike, the other week he's talking tough on Wike, and eventually he lost the ticket in all available political parties. Today he's going back to declare the people I pity are his supporters, people who think that they are fighting a genuine cause, who think that this man has suffered injustice, and they are following him. The people of Rivers State who feel that one man should not be the emperor of the state. Look at, when you begin to fight for a coward, he will take the role of separating the fights.
But that's the thing people also say, there is strength in restraint. If he requires the man to actually plan his way to get what he wants, what
happens to taking a break?
The end justifies the means.
I mean, he could honorably have taken a break. It's just one election cycle. Wike would not always be there. I mean, this is the most dishonorable thing any human being could do. In my own perception,
it's surprising.
I mean, must he participate in what exactly will be his role? A one-time governor who was displaced not because the people refused to vote for him, but was practically, a caged, stopped from even contesting. He could not express himself democratically, and he's back to his major traducer. To what kind of rainbow coalition? I mean, that shows how desperate some of these politicians can be. He has no honor. This is my own thinking.
Desperate politicians. What next do we talk about?
Okay, so before we talk about the next thing, we'll be going on a short break, but I'd just like to throw a little light on this very Wike and Fubara stuff. It is very, very disturbing, especially for the Rivers people. And I believe the Rivers people will not be happy that the governor that they elected and loved so much, that this said Wike has been fighting against, is going back, to join a coalition that is a leader of. I don't think it's what.
Let's leave that to the Rivers people to talk about. It's still their governor, and you have over, let's say, 7 million Riverians, so they know they will sort themselves out. And the Rivers State people have always sorted themselves out. They're not people that think about. So let's go to our problem.
All right, so we're jumping off for a short break. Please do stay with us. We'll be right back.
The country is gradually sliding away from democratic approach. You see, when you look at what is playing out in the country, it's becoming clearer to us that the present government doesn't want any dissenting voice from anybody. They don't want the voice of opposition or anybody that will say anything that is different from what they have in mind. They also want to flog us without anybody crying. That is what they want to do. And once you are speaking against their actions, once you are speaking against their policies, you've become an enemy. The initial time the police invited him, we were saying that there was a different intention from what they were painting. And you saw it, even when he got there, there was no clear interrogation there. They were moving from one baseless corner to another. You can't even say that this is exactly what they invited him for. Now, the DSS said it was petition written by NLC, which means it's an NLC thing. Or did the NLC person or persons accuse the president of being a terrorist or what? They haven't told us. Because if it's labor matter that has to do with labor union activities, why should DSS be involved? That is the first question. Then if it borders on the nation, and you are saying this petition was written, when was it written? And why must it be when he was attending TUC conference, international conference for that matter, that you should hold him? Was there any restriction on his movement? Did you give him order not to move out of the country? Because sometimes when they talk, they believe that we're all dafts and they're the only people that know everything, principally because they were given the powers to lead. That we are given the powers to lead doesn't mean that your followers do not have sense. That is what some people do not understand. And it doesn't also mean that you think faster than the people you lead. It's only that somebody must be in front. So the way they reason, the way they go about things in the country doesn't suggest that they actually understand the nitty-gritties of democracy.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Welcome back. Now we're going to look at the Daily Trust newspaper. And this morning on the Daily Trust, we have questions over 30 billion for palaces, places of worship. Phantom Council, Attorney General, NSA to face reps panel today. Father, daughter die in abandoned well. How inmates allegedly ran car theft syndicate from Bauchi prison. You know, I just want for us to take
the downside.
Okay, the Rivers governorship, Fubara backs Wike's ally. Zenith Bank wins dual laurels at Euro Money Awards. Dangote Refinery resumes petrol sale in Naira. Yes, like I was trying to say, you know, looking at this headline, questions over 30 billion for palaces, places of worship. You know, just day before yesterday and yesterday, the deputy speaker has been on the firing lane of Nigerians over his proposed sharing of almost £1 billion to churches for procurement of a musical instrument, and more of similar bizarre provisions in the budget is coming out. You know, look, if you see the illustration here, it's saying the 30.2 billion for palaces, churches, and mosques, and what are they going to be used for? You know, they will use some amount of that money for the construction of churches, for mosque rehabilitation, installation of solar light, solar power in these facilities, boreholes in churches and mosques, musical equipment, carpets, imam residences, Islamia schools, facilities. Who will facilitate this? I mean, who implements the pilot projects? You have agricultural institutions, you have federal colleges, you have research institutions, you have federal ministries, you have government agencies. Now, the disturbing thing is that this has become a trend in recent Nigerian budgets. You know, in the midst of all the challenges, of all the problems Nigeria is facing at the moment, we are spending billions in frivolities. Nigerians have not come out of the discussion and the disturbing trend of sponsoring pilgrimage visits to countries far away from Nigeria, you know, abandoning the most pressing problems of insecurity, of education, access to education, of taking people out of poverty, of power infrastructure, of poor roads, and all the gamut of things that is facing Nigeria at the moment. And these people, are comfortable after spending money in buying yachts and the presidential air fleet and rehabilitating the vice presidential, house that is not dilapidated. They have now moved to, doling that money into palaces, into mosques and churches.
I think, I think, okay, this is cool in a way, right? Because some of these churches, let's assume the ones that were attacked, maybe they need some sort of reconstruction. I can relate from that angle. And also, it would have made more sense to me if, the solar that is there, the solar installations, that also is a nice one for us to see there. I was hoping to see CCTV onto security measures being taken for religious centers. That would have made more sense to me, because some of these churches are like vulnerable centers for these banditry and what have you to come attack. So if these religious centers have the likes of CCTV, solar installations to make sure there's always power, because where there is light, you barely see darkness suppressing, so to speak.
Why are you thinking from this direction? Why didn't you think from the direction of, like in Imo State, where the deputy speaker intends to spend about 1 billion to provide musical instruments? Do you think that's the most challenging things? That's the most challenging thing, that if you ask the Imo people what they would desire to get from the federal government that they will say musical instruments.
No,
and when you even talk about this, assuming that this they are talking about mosques and churches that were previously like that. What about the individuals that were affected?
Let me
look
at it this way.
Sorry, I was still talking before you interfered. Now, if we have the likes of the CCTV, the solar installations, and then we also have some security personnel mounting different locations of these churches, looking at how often this attack occur, that also is understandable. Because if we have the likes of security personnel coming out during the elections, you hear thousands, being sent to different locations. We expect things like that to also be sent to different religious centers. That if that was in that budget, I would have understood that made sense for me.
Thank you. You were talking as if you were the person who drew the budget, and you have cleared up the budget heads where it should go. Were you in what we saw here? Did you see anywhere that they said the churches that have been attacked, mosques that have been attacked, that this amount is for rehabilitation?
No.
Did you see where in that budget they say for these churches that now provide them security? What amount they are talking here is 30 billion naira. We're not talking about 30 naira. We're talking about 30 billion naira that can provide security for a complete 36 states, at least, if not for a whole year, half of the year. If you inject this money, and by the way, has campaign started? Has the INEC declared campaign? This is all about campaign. That's about it. So when it gets towards 2027 is building up, and people are now leaving the substance and pursuing the shadow. After all this suffering, after all these killings, after all these attacks, if you go to a church and provide them, by the way, you're talking about Imo State, the life expectancy in Imo State, I'm sorry to say, in the last, I don't know what will take me to Imo State. Because the way people die in Imo State people, I'm just sure whether they have a governor in Imo State or he's governing from Abuja. It's going to be.
You should have a statistics record to back that.
No, but it's true. With this neighboring state, there's nothing we're talking about. Statistics is just a deception.
Well,
is it that Imo State is safe? That you don't hear about killings every day there? Somebody will say.
I think you have a point when you look at it from the perspective that Nigeria people are taking campaigns to places of worship. The religion is continuing to play increasing role in our election biases, and now that they are doling out monies for places of worship, churches, mosques, the intention can only be to influence them, to help influence the people to vote in a certain pattern. Because nothing else could explain why you will map out 30.2 billion among all the challenges Nigerians are facing. It has to be for here you said carpets, not carpet. And for this carpet to become a significant quote here, it means that it must have benefited some billions. So we'll be talking about providing carpets for
mosques,
for so many mosques.
Yeah.
It was also to fight insurgency, according to Mr. Lel. That the imams' residences, maybe the Boko Haram people are also bombing imams' residences.
But they didn't even mention about security. Just the one that existing. So if the Nigerian government has built the houses for chief judges and the people, legal luminaries, and to make sure they are comfortable, and they have budgeted large billions of naira for election petitions that will come. That means you have planned.
They have a budget. They have not covered everything.
So now you have a house.
With this one, they have covered everything.
Beautiful
they have
prime
covered
residence for
the judiciary. They are now covering the religious centers. So who is remaining? They already have rehabilitated Boko Haram and the other terrorists. So they have both. They have the whole balance. The thugs.
My answer friends, is it complete? Is it enough? Because if with all this, and then we can have some sanity to allow others, do their own bit without increasing tension in the polity, because the winner takes it all syndrome is sitting there and looking for who we say is you that talk and not. We know that with all even the whole earth given to some people and some politicians in Nigeria, they are not still safe. They still want the head of John the Baptist on a platter of gold.
All right.
If that would make them happy.
I don't know if we still have time, but this headline that says how inmates allegedly ran car theft syndicate from Bauchi prison. This is not an isolated incident. We have seen a number of cases where people who were incarcerated for one criminal breach or the other have successfully run syndicates, crime syndicates from within the walls of the prison. It shows how porous our prison infrastructure is.
They are not called prison, correctional center. So when you get in there as a hardened criminal,
so
they correct you into being a car syndicate, into a professional economics planner where you sit in confinement in Nigeria Correctional Center, and then the magnitude of correction. How do you say it?
To move you away from street talk.
Then you sit down one place and push the pawns of your business and run a car syndicate from Bauchi, the extreme part of Nigeria, to Lagos. And that is wonderful. And then we are thinking Nigeria is still looking for intelligent people to run our intelligence.
For this to happen, this guy has access to telecommunication.
It's not only one person.
I mean,
it's a syndicate.
He ran he said how an inmate. I'm talking about the inmate that
one particular inmate.
So he has access to telecommunication, regular access to telecommunication, to be able to communicate with people outside and coordinate them, to carry out this nefarious criminal activity.
These correctional centers, it thumbs up rights, to the officers, in most of these correctional centers, they're really trying their best to make sure that these people, are in the right place, doing the right thing. I've been there, for one or two program. And you see
as
how
a visitor,
come on.
So that we know who we're dealing with.
But it's also disturbing that in most of these centers, the things that happen there, it's almost like they're not in the correctional center. It has lost the name, the value, the essence of them being in a place like that called the correctional center. It now looks like an organized center where different character is being trained. Some of them in that same center, they are still taking weed and taking drugs. Of course, nobody has to come to them because they feel like they're finally in their own space, so they don't want to interrupt. Some of them still stay in that center. They have their phones. They're making calls. They're having deals. You get, but
then, like you said, and they still have those Nigeria Correctional Center officers that are honorable, and they're working with them who are doing their best, like you said. And then within that confinement, they have them.
Why is it that in Nigeria we're only looking for the slightest thing anybody has done to praise him about? I mean, what is it about praise? What about holding to accountability? I'm coming. There have been reports from Lagos prisons to ENUGU prisons to all over. From when you come into any prisons, you have two-tier prison system. The prisoners who are given some elements of comfort.
The VIPs.
And the criminals who, we recently saw in the internet some food that they offer to the rank and file prisoners, and even a dog will not taste that food. Okay? And then we've heard about, like in Lagos, is it the Kirikiri prison where they say that if you pay a certain amount of money, you'll be taken to a very comfortable apartment where you will serve your prison term. So there have been issues about Nigerian prison system. Changing the name does not change the fact that our prison system is in a total shambles. So let's not be searching for how to praise them. Let's hold them accountable. They are paid to do their job. This is not a volunteer service. This is a service that somebody went into with his clear eyes, and there is a mandate.
Magija, you cannot have Nigeria Correctional Center coming in isolation of Nigeria's system. If Nigeria's system is corrupt from head to toe, I said this sometimes. People say, no. I've said, remove the ones that are not corrupt. Let's deal with the ones who are corrupt. If the majority of Nigerians are corrupt and they are working in the same system, they are in the Nigerian Correctional Center, they are in the police, they are in the army, they are in the navy, they are in the market, they are in the broadcasting industry like here, they are everywhere. So where are we going to get Jesus the Messiah? Who will now take the things and do it the right way? If we keep following this trend and this trajectory, we are only planning to fail.
You know, where I usually disagree with you is that after your whole passion, you try to moralize this thing. There is no Messiah. There is no country that Messiahs run. We are not running a theocracy. The only problem here is that we must strengthen our laws to be able to hold accountable people who cause these breaches. That if you are playing to the consciences of human beings, man will always try to cut corners. Remember,
which law in Nigeria that doesn't have the teeth to bite? We are expecting who will take the plunge.
There is no who is the law.
That's it.
The legal system.
Okay, so while we are talking about the law, someone needs to be held accountable, right? Which is very important.
Yes.
We also know that Olubunmi Tunji has really been doing well, in the whole passport segment, immigration, infrastructures, different policies that has been coming up and making things really. Please, can I just go on? No, I'm not praising.
Mr. Baroka, we need to bring a drum. For Chris
and jingles.
I'm driving to somewhere now. He's been doing a whole lot of great things, in the immigration and sector, putting things together, improvements here and there. If you want to go out now and get a passport, the inconvenience you go through compared to the way it was some years ago, honestly, it has really changed. But sadly, he's still the one heading this Nigerian Correctional Center. He's still the one heading it, but it seems the attention is diverted. It's like he's distracted from also looking into that direction and look at the corruption going on in the Nigerian Correctional Center.
Excuses.
The Correctional Center.
He knows that this is what the job entails before he signed up to it, and he has the option of resigning. Mr. Chris, listen, I cannot be praising a man for doing his job. It's like somebody coming to praise you for coming to work this morning. I mean, you are paid to be here to do your job. It's only when you do extra that I should thank you. The things you are talking about are the things expected of any immigration. And we still have serious challenges. Nigerians in the diaspora, their access to international passport is still a problem. Even Nigerians here, the pricing of the passport still fluctuates. It depends on passport racketeering is still a thing in Nigeria, and it's still outside the reach of Nigerians. If passport has become very accessible, most Nigerians will have it because it's also a major form of identity. For Nigerians, passport is the right of every citizen. It shouldn't be. There's a lot that is left to be desired. And when this man took up this job, he knew that all these things are coming under. So if he's not capable of running all of them, he can resign. Or he has the option of planning the job in a way to be able to do them seamlessly. If the prison is not doing well and the passport is doing well, you expect me to sit here and
say... But in a country of 240 million people, Nigeria blessed with human resources, why should one person handle two
jobs? The ministry. The ministry is bundled.
Why not unbundle the ministry? If you have a ministry and you're a minister,
and you
have...
He cannot be regulated. He is just the minister. There are other people in the chain of command of this ministry. I mean, the prison is not answerable to the immigration, and the immigration is not answerable to what's it called?
Internal affairs.
It's internal affairs, but there are the Nigerian bureaucracy system is very robust. I mean, these are big, agencies that we're talking about here, and the chain of command takes care of everything. It's about policy. If the minister formulates a proper policy and they have an efficient system of monitoring, the job is not tedious. He's not expected to go.
Ginger, I think we're running out of time, but that my fear cropped up here. I didn't know he was even here. Look at the Guardian newspaper of the bold headline. I've asked that question, nobody answers. INEC helpless as early campaigns flout the Electoral Act and fairness rule when the people who said the rule are the ones who are breaking it, and the INEC is crying helpless. So Nigeria, which way Nigeria, where are we going? Is INEC helpless?
As far as I'm concerned,
the campaign has started a long time, 2 years ago.
Whenever a man determines to run for election, he's already campaigning because he's going to talk to people about his aspiration. To me, among all the issues, all the challenges that INEC is facing, this is the list of it all. I have not seen any election that early campaign remarkably. The problem of our election is the management of the election itself, the planning of election. INEC, kind of spends a lot of money per election cycle preparing for elections, and within that election, INEC practically sabotage its own election. The collusion we talk about between INEC staff and politicians, it happens within INEC. We've not had INEC, significantly sanction their staff that compromised during the election. And then even post-election, you see INEC fighting against, going to court to defend even, acts that go against their own mandate. So the problem is not with the people who want to talk about the elections they are going to run. They are planning the sense.
And then
but if it is the rule, let's say INEC punish people for it.
Then talk about when INEC put all these book traps. At the end of it or during the election itself, you hardly see any INEC man in the street. They go and pull the helpless coppers and some, what they call them, all those auxiliary
they call
ad hoc staff, and push them to harm's way and stay back where they have planned their failures, and these people will go to die. Because you go to pulling pools and everywhere in the street of moving things, you don't see INEC real people who really value. They will go back to their
our election
comfort zones and
if
hide.
Our election was said and technology driven, we would need less people in the field. The problem still lies with INEC and the legislature that has refused to do their carry out their mandate. I mean, we'll take one step forward and 10 steps backward. Just like I keep talking about the previous this immediate electoral act that was just passed and amended. I was on the radio the other day, and I projected that this is promising to be one of the worst elections in Nigeria because there is a legal framework for the election to fail. I mean, everything that had to do with the amendment of that electoral act has not enhanced our elections in any way. Rather, it has taken us back to where we used to be.
But see how Nigeria pushed these rules. This is how Nigeria pushed these rules out, and the world is watching us. Where our chief political election umpire, INEC, is quoted as helpless because early campaigns have started. What impression are they giving? They are only making us feel that they are looking for excuses for failure. I don't think
many Nigerians really have hope in INEC again. Nigerians don't really trust INEC again. They are just there as an institution that will just carry out the election, but they can't really tell if INEC has the will, to do its job. And talking about the ad hoc committee staff, they've already opened their portal for people that are interested to register and be part of the work come 2027. And I hope that it's not just to register them, but they're also going to pay them well. Let them increase the money they're paying
well?
them.
What's the insurance? Did they have insurance? Who pays you well? Haven't you see after election people fight and pursue? Some of your records will vanish.
That's what I'm saying. I hope that it's not just to start another registration with the same amount.
I don't think paying has ever been a serious problem in this thing.
No, looking at the
with 309 billion, the last election, who can they pay?
Let me tell you the other part of it, Chris. These political parties practically mobilize their members to become ad hoc staff with INEC. This is where the rigging starts. You understand? In fact, sometimes INEC staff, actively seek through the political parties for them to deploy people.
This will be a point for another discussion another day. I think time is out of running out. We are running out of time. So this is where we called the quits on this segment of the program. This morning, the newspaper review with Mark Ginger, with Chris. We move to the next segment of the program shortly. Don't go away. Signature Morning continues shortly.
We are local.
International communities why the main market is in chaos. People.
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended say aye. Aye. We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
For these 8 years, he was there. And then every month, he will send me maintenance upkeep. Every month.
How about the present governor of Enugu State? Did he continue in the same tradition?
He didn't. Even Sullivan Chima didn't continue from.
How about the governors in Anambra, where?
Oh no! It's only. I think it's only P2B. During P2B's time, when he was leaving, he gave us cars, but that was a group of advisors, elders from Anambra that were meeting quarterly to work with him, advise him, and so on. We had that group, Anambra something leaders. I've forgotten the title. That was how P2B. I got something from P2B as a person.
Not because you were wife of the former president.
Not. Sorry, not. Then, when he retired, he bought cars.
We are local.
International communities why the main market is in chaos. People are...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the view by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
The Obi Kwankwaso movement, also known as the OK movement, under the Nigerian Democratic Congress (NDC), represents a formidable political alliance aimed at the 2027 presidential election. But whether it can wear the crown depends on overcoming deep regional divisions, building rigid grassroots structures, and surviving ongoing dominant battles of opposition parties. But combining their highly distinct regional and ideological support bases, the Joes signed a formal written agreement committing to serve only one 4-year term from 2027 to 2031, a formidable challenge to the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC). This arrangement is designed to honor regional power rotation by returning the presidency to northern Nigeria in 2031. Obi's record as a former Anambra State governor centers on cutting the cost of governance, boosting local production, and investing heavily in human capital, which supporters believe can lift Nigeria out of its current economic hardships. Now let's take a look at the leader. As the leader of the fierce Kwankwaso movement and former governor of Kano State, Kwankwaso brings a legacy of aggressive infrastructural growth, access to civil service development, and massive scholarship programs. Now the question on the lips of many Nigerians: do they have what it takes to take over the mantle come 2027? And of course, we have a big elephant with us in the house this morning that will be helping us to understand that conversation. And this is where I hand over to Mark Ginger to go into that conversation.
Good morning. It's another day in Signature TV morning show. And this morning we have in our studio a veteran politician of repute, former this, former that. He has been all over Nigeria since independence or post-independence, being part of the conversation and the political development of our country. We have here today Chief Max who in my community is known as Obatulu Anyuwan of Akunubi. He was the former ABGA chairman, national chairman during P2B's era. He has been a candidate, a presidential candidate in one of the general elections, and also in 2007 he was a presidential candidate, and he had been the secretary of the Conference of Nigerian Political Parties. Max Zuku has been part of Nigerian politics in different capacities and have been actively involved in the politicking. Max Zuku is also a lawyer who has practiced since the 1970s. He claims to be a retired politician today, but he's also the current coordinator or co-coordinator of the Southeast Village Boys for Obedience. You are welcome to our studio this morning, Mr. Max Zuku.
Thank you very much. Thank you for
nice to have you.
You're welcome, sir.
I appreciate it.
As a veteran lawyer and a politician. Well, let's start this way.
Yes.
Who is afraid of OK? Because what we notice is that everybody you talk to, you talk for the opposition, OK. Or let's even say Obi, you call the opposition to talk and give us their scorecard. Obi, calling Obi to fight. Now that we have OK join it, so it's now OK. So tell us, what is the fear? Who is afraid of OK?
Well, as things stand today, those who play cards, the way the deck is stacked, come January, when the presidential election will be held, it's a street fight by grace of God between the incumbent, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and the Obi Kwankwaso alliance. Street fight. Any other thing is just a shadow boxing, in my own humble opinion. If you look at it clearly, these two platforms represent clear contrast. And the way the country is currently, the situation in the country right now, there's so much angst, there's so much frustration in the land. Bola Tinubu has failed to deliver. His government has been an unmitigated disaster. And so Nigerians are, would I say, frustrated. Everything has gone south, security, food, everything. So Obi brings in a breath of fresh air, a new phase, a new face in this current struggle. Everything about him is different, miles apart from what we now have. His credentials, what he represents, his momentum. It's just like the Kwakwa's momentum up north. So it brings in some hope. I personally was on my way to Equatorial Guinea. I was tired, I was frustrated. But when people will be saying they knew Nigeria is possible, some of my colleagues said, let us try it one more time and see if we can salvage this nation. So we have hope, we'll try. Hoping that what the people vote, how the people vote, it reflects in the announcement by INEC. That is the big question. Will INEC announce the popular wish of the people of Nigeria?
Okay, that's it.
All right, so please stay with us. So we'll be jumping off for a short break. Just after this, we'll come back.
We are local.
International communities observing why the main market is in chaos. People.
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Thanks for staying with us. So we'll come back to you. Nigerians love Peter Obi. Most Nigerians, I must say. You can see the love on social media and what have you. And this was the same love that Nigerians had for Peter Obi during the 2023 general elections. But somehow they were heartbroken when the result came out the way it did. So the question I want to ask now, looking at your close relationship with Peter Obi, and of course, managing this, knowing how everything played out so far, what lessons do you think the Peter Obi and co have learned so far that they won't repeat coming election? Because many Nigerians feel like, regardless the ginger and everything, Peter Obi may not have the momentum to take over 2027.
He has the momentum. The momentum is there. You can even touch it. Wherever he goes, it is like, would I say, a crusade, a religious crusade going on. And the fervor, the passion shown to him by the people is unprecedented. Only late Buhari, had a similar appeal to the masses. Forget that he betrayed all the hype and the hope when he was given the power. But the important thing is that Peter has momentum, and luckily he has a running mate who also has momentum up north and generally in many parts of the country. You see, the equation or the way to fall out, this prediction, the prediction is that for January 2027, what will play out will not be exactly how it played out in 2023. 2023, Peter had momentum, he got the votes, but somehow lost it. Nobody would take INEC on their words anymore. Remember all the promises made by Festus Okoye and Professor Mahmoud. They swore, they made statements and said, this is the way this thing will run. At the end of the day, they betrayed the hope of Nigerians. That's it. Nigerians have learned their lesson. Once beaten, 10 times shy. So Nigerians are getting ready. The stories about making statements and pious statements and promises and press releases will do this. Nobody will believe them. Nobody will believe. In fact, this Professor Amopitan, nobody will believe whatever he says. So far, he has shown his hand.
But I was thinking you are going to pinpoint if there's any structural lessons, if there's any angle that you think the administration in 2023 at some point did not, follow up or carried out well that would have affected them in any way that you expect in 2027 would not be repeated?
Yes. No, first and foremost, INEC betrayed Nigerians. They made concrete statements. This is the way, these are the rules of engagement. When the thing came down to the votes and announcement, everything changed. They suddenly ate their words. Suddenly ate it. So they have lost credibility. So nobody will believe this time. I cannot tell me that they will be uploading, there will be this, there will be that. Even the loophole created by law is a route for doing another mago, if I may use that expression. So this time around, we are a voters coalition. I'm not a member of NDC. I'll make it clear. Right now, I carry the card of no political party. I'm merely a Nigerian interested in democracy. I'm entitled to vote. I have a voter's card. I will vote. And the effort I can do, the best I can do for myself is see that in my own polling unit and areas where I can influence, there are guardians at the gate who are going to police these votes and see that no story is told. Some of the measures are things that are not supposed to be discussed in public, but the fact remains that there's enough tools available to any ordinary Nigerian now to be able to challenge and counter any untoward behavior by the election management body, which we expect. So far, the way the professor is going is showing it is clear, is partisan. But the popular will of Nigerians, overwhelming feeling of Nigerians can police it. There's no way you can defeat a mass movement that says, no, do this thing properly. Let the votes reflect, let the announcement reflect what we voted for and how we voted. The sort of distortions and the sort of you see some of the ballot papers from Rivers State. It cries to heaven for justice. Such things cannot be allowed. Because by the time you are uploading, we're also uploading. Let me just put it this way. In terms of getting the wherever the elections hold, you can easily capture it. All of us have tools. It is available to every Nigerian who has a smartphone. So this time around, it won't be like last round. We are now prepared to be forewarned and to be forearmed.
Mr. Oku, I'm going to put it direct to you.
Yes.
A few days ago, Engineer Kwankwanso came out to say that P2B signed a one-term pact. Did Obi sign it? Would that not mean that P2B is desperate to be president?
Well, I wouldn't know. I cannot tell you now whether he signed or did not sign. If Kwankwanso says it, let me assume it is correct. He will not tell such cheap lies. In any case, the NDC has come out clearly and said there is a party policy that this is a one-term presidency. And even in some states, they made the same arrangement. The NDC, as a political party, has said so. But you see, like in those days of pool betting, it is written on in small letters. This agreement, this arrangement is only binding in honor. It's a matter of honor. Politicians are very good to dishonor any agreement. All these agreements are not enforceable. Like a lawyer can tell you, not enforceable. So it's a matter of honor. Recall that good Lord Jonathan made a statement or made an agreement in-house that you were only for one term. He reneged. But the people showed it by their vote. Particularly those up north. I recall I was studying north that time. You will see a PDP candidate with a Buhari, APC, as same poster. The PDP North rebelled against Goodluck Jonathan. He lost the election. So, but Obi is an honorable man. He on his own, without any prompting, made it clear. Based on the way Nigeria is politically structured and they are doing arrangements, which is a PDP thing, but which has been popularly accepted, I can only run for one term. I don't need two terms to put the structures in place that will set Nigeria on the path of recovery.
Two things, sir. Two things.
Yeah.
When it goes to election time,
yeah,
Nigeria is north and south.
Yes.
With your experience in Nigerian politics, I want to put that aside. Now, second, you mentioned that Buhari commanded followership.
Yes.
The Tarakawa.
Yes.
And at the end of it all, he said he dashed the hope of the masses.
Yes.
Now that the P2B is carrying the masses, and he's also a politician, budding one, is there likelihood that he might dash the hope of the masses too, like Buhari did, like according to you? These two things I want you to quickly react.
There's a difference. Look at P2B's political trajectory. Look at Buhari. Buhari was never tested politically. He became head of state through a military coup and the kind of, would I say, outsourced power to Idiabon. When he was chairman, I had an idea, because I was in Abuja at that time and was very close to some of his lieutenants, Safana and Co. When he was chairman of PTF, he franchised the thing to Safana and Co. to PTF, the group called something consortium. He practically ran it through them. He's always the kind of detached leader. So, Buhari's failure didn't surprise people like us. I knew him closely when I was General Secretary of CMP. We worked closely. Very, very, very disciplined. You'll be the first to arrive at a meeting, but you make no contribution. So, P2B is different. He has iron cast credentials showing his performance in governance. Whatever you may say, you cannot take away fiscal responsibility from Peter. Peter does not throw money, public funds around. He has shown that in his lifetime and in governance in Anambra State. It's very important that we go back to that. Because part of the waste, part of the problem in Nigeria is the enormous waste in governance. If we can reduce Nigerian waste in public office by about 30%, there'll be so much savings for infrastructure, for development. So Peter has that advantage as compared to Buhari. Yes, politically, there's a north-south divide in Nigeria, but I don't think there's a political south. I don't believe so. There's a political north, but there's no political south in real terms. So the north, for example, has black-spotted Tinubu, and that is one reason why he will go. They have this consciousness and conspiracy. I don't know how they do it, but having black-spotted Tinubu will not be re-elected in January next year.
Okay, so Mark Ginger asked the question about the single term, that Kwankwanso talked about.
Yes.
I'm not surprised. I think I've heard Obi a couple of times on the news to where he said he would rather go for one term because he believes that he can do something in that single term.
Yes.
And these have raised concerns.
Yes.
Remember, he has said in a couple of occasions too, when he was in different parties, how he would not leave those parties.
Yeah.
Because he trusted and he believed in them, and then he was going to stand and fight with them, and somehow he leaves this party to the next party, from that party to another party, and has been making statements that people would have said they will hold on to and believe that he's a man of his word. Now, the next one that got people really thinking was when he left ADC. They were thinking that he would stand his ground, do the primaries. You claim you have your supporters, people love you, you will get it. So why not stand there and fight? So these characters, people are concerned. Like the statement of the one time, is it a political statement just to get your way in? Does he have the strong will to keep to his word in times of tribulation? So that's...
I believe in the circumstances, Peter has no option on the one-term undertaking or commitment. Reasons. One is that he's a credible and a very sincere Nigerian. I believe that if he's elected, he will not try to run for a second term. And then there's insurance by the other side. You see, the race for 2031 has already begun. There are certain northern interests who would make sure he does not try a Goodluck Jonathan trick on them. If he does it, he will fail. They will ensure that. And the way it is now, the popular sentiment is that, and that is what is going on against Atiku, is an attempt to run again. And when the thing is in the south, is really skewed against him. So, having said that, there is this inbuilt institutional veto, or would I say guarantee that if you attempt to renege on your statement or your promise on your taking, the system would make sure they stop you. Secondly, this idea of moving from party to party, you see, is an adroit political move in my own opinion. I can tell you that Peter was chased away from APGA. He was chased away. Not that he wanted to leave. He was chased away from APGA. We were part of the exercise from day one. Recall that when APGA began, the chairman of APGA was Shekwa Sokori. I was deputy national chairman, South, #2 man. So I can tell you a lot of what passed under the bridge, but that's not why we are here. Then PDP, Labour, ADC, NDC. If you look at it, if Peter had remained in ADC, he would not be on the ballot today. That is the fact. Forget about saying let's run for primary. The thing was already snookered. It was already the idea was already committed for one man. So the only thing which I may say is that maybe earlier on, some of us proposed that you run your own, try to register your own party or have take over a party. Some of the other briefcase parties, I should know about that. They only exist in Abuja with the chairman. It doesn't exist. You can quietly acquire it. That's the Tinubu method. Recall Tinubu moved from AD, where we all began, to AC, from AC to ACD, ACD to ACN, ACN now. Then he had an alliance with Buhari and formed, and then got APC to win a winning package. So you do some of these moves. When Tinubu was moving from ADC, AD to APC, it was a adroit political movement to achieve a political goal, to capture power. So to do it, if Peter had not been on the ballot today, election is over. But so, at least he's on the ballot today.
Mr. Oku, since 1999, Nigerians have experienced repeated disappointment over each regime. Obasanjo regime, yes, did a lot of reforms, but at the end of the day, was marred by the third term bid. The Yar'Adua regime was marred by the president being sick almost all the time, and then come the Jonathan regime that was on the popular, demand of Nigerians. But again, it was marred by a lot of politics, and then the infamous third term bid that brought forward Mr. Buhari, and then the Mr. Buhari was anticlimax, and the award, the Tinubu regime is a disaster, unmitigated disaster. That's your word, by the way.
Yes.
Is 4 years enough for any serious reform to happen in Nigeria? Looking at that, Nigerians are desperate to see a dramatic change in the country.
Yes. You see, what is needed is a reset. Nigeria is ripe for a reset. We cannot continue this way. Everything is going south. Look at their debt profile. All the gains of Obasanjo debt relief has been wiped out by one move. And then look at the level of corruption. I mean, look at the level of insecurity. Ask my ginger, he knows me. I used to be a roadman. I leave ENUGU by 3 and land Lokoja by 6. That's where we used to go to my party and the rest. I sleep Lokoja. I leave Abuja. I leave Lokoja after morning mass by 7, 8. By 9, I'm in Abuja and I join them for business. I can't try it now. All the roads have collapsed. And you might get to Kotongafe and some boys will just arrest me. So, insecurity. And it's not being addressed. Somehow or the other, it's not being addressed. It has now moved south. From the north, it has now moved south. We thank God that those peoples in Oyo State were rescued. But look at the trauma they went through. And because government has failed on the fundamental section of the Constitution, 14.2b, which says that the security and welfare of the people of Nigeria shall be the primary purpose of government at all levels. Government has failed us on that. So having said so, what is needed is a reset and someone taking charge. You see, if you are president, you must be a commander-in-chief. You cannot be president and then kind of, would I say, a franchise power to certain power blocks or certain stakeholders. No. You must be commander-in-chief and command chiefly, if I may borrow from Professor Jerry Ghana. So I believe that if the reset, and then example is set, how can a local government chairman in Nigeria go around with 4 or 5 cars? Can you imagine the waste? A local government chairman that's not elected, appointed. Then scarce funds with local government, use it to go and buy cars and have a convoy. Look at governors. Governors who are practically glorified, what I call it, glorified chief security officers of their state. You have about 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 police dispatch riders. I mean, look at other countries where there's some civility. This is what Peter would abrogate immediately because it's not a style. You stop it. Then when the commander-in-chief is disciplined, it has a trickle-down effect. No governor will be profligate because the president is not. But if the president profligate, it runs down the line. So this is what Peter will do: agenda setting and resetting Nigeria back on a path to production, not consumption, and discipline.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. What you're saying sounds like music in our ears. In 2019, you were quoted by Vanguard newspaper of interested in restructuring Nigeria constitutional. As a lawyer, you are a good one for that matter. So where are we now? When you believe from the word go that Nigeria's constitution have a structural problem. Where are these problems? What do you remind us again? How they can be restructured for us to move forward on a more comfortable ground?
You see, what we operate today is a schedule to a decree as the constitution of Nigeria. And when he says in the preamble that we, the people of Nigeria, having met and resolved, we never met. Did you know when we met? It was Abacha, I don't know. It was Abdul Salam Obaka and a few people, including forgotten his name, the lawyer, what is his name, who met and wrote a constitution and gave it to us. That constitution is a unitary constitution. It's a glorified, it's not a federal constitution. The federal constitution, go back to 1963, go back to 1960. My father and others were part of it at Lancaster House in London, with Zik, NCNC. They brokered a constitution for a federal Republic of Nigeria. Then you look at the distribution of powers in the constitution, the exclusive list, the residual list, etc. And regions, whatever they collected, they kept a lion's share. And then the balance, 50%, went to the federal pool. And that region that collected 50% ahead of also participated in the distribution of the federal pool. That's what we have now. What happens every month and they go to Abuja for FAC. And the federal government gives orders to everybody. The police is a federal thing. Then Okpara did not take instructions from Abubakar or who was going to be his commissioner of police. Commissioner of police was okay here. So a situation where a governor cannot even determine who is commissioner of police is a glorified governor. He has no power of coercion, of state power. That is something which is the restructuring, and we must go back. If Nigeria has to be a federal state, has to be. The military has killed that this thing. We have been running a unitary state for so long, and Nigeria have come to accept it. Why must we wait for FAC? No, that's why you are on a federation. Something is flowing in the rivers, it is being shared in Abuja. No, that's not a federation. A federation is that you go back to the constituent units and they determine how the things are shared. And the federalists say, if you want to run a railway, you must go to Abuja and get permission. You want to run anything, go to Abuja and get permission. That's the federal state. That thing must be changed. Well, there are some good moves. I must concede that one. By Tinubu, the state police, a number of moves is making. But you see, this is piecemeal. It must be comprehensive. The people of Nigeria must meet and agree the way they want to live together.
All right, you earlier made mention of the hopes people had on Buhari when he became the president, and somehow it got dashed because it didn't deliver to the expectations. And you know how the country is right now. Expectations run high, very high, especially on Peter Obi and the Congress. So looking at, his different records he's broken when he was the governor of his state, and also the impact of Congress. So now, if they eventually, in quote, get in power, do you think these expectations can disappoint Nigerians? Do you see this very administration being very proactive, meeting up the expectations? And if they don't you think this is going to be another backlash to the administration? I
want to be optimistic. I believe Peter Obi wants to deliver. I want to be optimistic. I believe they will deliver because their credentials tell me so. Not that I'm hoping or praying. I'm looking at somebody's credentials, examples he has set and has continued to set in his lifestyle. You see, your lifestyle determines how you act when you're in power. And you've been in power and shown. Kwanso has shown his performance as governor, as minister. Peter Obi has shown his performance as governor. So on those credentials alone, I'm hopeful. And then the character of the man. This is not a greedy man. No. This is not a man who wants ostentation. You see, when you look at somebody who likes ostentation and is greedy, you leave him in the kitchen, you clear the food before he gets to the people. That's the problem.
Mr. Ogu, you made a categorical statement here, and that I totally agree with that statement. Where you said that Nigerians must sit and agree on the kind of government they want, the kind of federal government they want to be practiced in Nigeria. And on this other hand, we are talking about a pact with a clandestine group. Is P2B running to be the president of Nigeria, or is he already captured even before he became a president? Because the pact that was signed is on behalf of Nigerians. Because I've seen his popularity. A lot of Nigerians seem to like him. If he's so loved and he becomes president and he does so well, however, he has signed a pact that is now a blackmail that he can't even, for his own honor and integrity, go back on. Do you think this is what we need at this point? A president that is, dancing to the tune of a cabal, or a president that is working for Nigerians?
Well, you see, the thing is that, first of all, you have to be president. All the ideas, all the lofty goals you have, if you're not president, it's a lot of hogwash. You must be president first and set that example and show performance. So Peter says, in 4 years, I can reset Nigeria and put it on the track for progress. I would like to believe he will do that. And what Nigerians need, Nigerians don't want too much. If I can move from here to my village and not to pay 40,000 naira on fuel, I'm okay. Once I have electricity and I can go to hospital, to the nearest hospital around, and then buy food reasonably with my small earning, Nigerians don't want too much. The few greedy Nigerians who want to acquire 700 vehicles, 700 houses, how many are they? There will always be greedy people around. So Peter resetting Nigeria and the masses that love him, being able to go about their lawful business without fear or favor, and be able to run a business and then make the legitimate earnings. That is the goal. And once that is achieved, let his successor build on his legacy.
Thank you very much, Mazi Oku. We're enjoying your discussion. I will call for a short break here. We'll come back and continue shortly. Thank you for coming.
We are local.
International communities observing just finished the market is in chaos. People
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Tired of the snow? Tired of the bad TV signals? Nigeria has gone digital. Introducing Free TV, the national platform for every Nigerian. Get 100 plus channels immediately. Sports, news, and entertainment in your native language with clear picture quality. Whether you're in the city or the village, our satellite signal reaches every corner of 36 states from day one. No monthly subscription, just a compatible decoder and you are set. It's a national asset built for you. Take the show on the road, download the Free TV app and stream your favorite channels anywhere. Starting this May, scan to download the app or call 0700 388 7277. Free TV, digital TV for free. Brought to you by NBC.
Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Welcome back. We're still here, Signature Morning, with our guest, Mazi Magzi. Mazi, I'm coming back to you with this. P2B, you know very well. You know, you followed his successes, you know, how he built on nothing in 2023 and got to where he is. How those successes, he was accused of not managing his successes and lost favor with a lot of politicians who climbed on his shoulders to high heavens. And some of them, because they were not well managed, moved into so many other parties. What's the future now? How is going to, when he has been accused of being a little selfish with the way he managed his political allies' issues, do you think that will become an issue in his success in 2027?
Well, if you know Peter the man, he does not like to throw, they give shishi. A lot of these problems comes from people expecting some shishi. That's part of the major angle of the matter. People expect some reward. Now, a lot of people, Labour Party, as an example, it doesn't exist really until Peter came into Labour Party. I know the foundations of Labour Party when Ejiofor, the first national chairman, was they called PSD. Then later on, Dan Waya, my friend, became chairman. So I have an idea about the circumstances that gave birth to Labour Party. Now Peter moves in and he sweeps the whole place. A lot of people win election. A lot of people who were not pro-Labour, who did not have progressive credentials, cashed in on a situation and got into power. Such people are beds of political nomads. You have to allow them to continue to move. You don't control them. They only go wherever they can feather their nest. And if you see a good movement and you're able to get ticket and you win, because I like to look at somebody's credentials. Which parties have you been in? Which parties? What is your political leaning? Forget about the north, south, the left, right, the divide. Communism, capitalism is no longer there. Look at program. What do you believe in? I'd like to know your belief system. Do you believe in a federal state? Do you believe in a unitary state? Do you believe in state police? If you tell me what you believe in, I can have an idea of your political color. Someone like myself, there's certain parties I could never have joined because, like I said, I'm a left of center politician. We don't have such many people like that. People are merely fair weather people. They just look for a place to get power, they get it and move on. So that was one of the issues that Peter ran into. Then Peter, as a person, he's an entrepreneur, a businessman. It's in his character. He is not into this Tinubu type of building structures. It may be a plus, it may be a minus, depending on how you look at it. Because his method has taken him far. That's the way I rationalize it. His method, his low range method, has taken him very far. So, if you feel your own is better, how far has it taken you? So, like I said, if you are a true Democrat, you're a progressive, and you win an election on a progressive party like Labour, you don't need to be cajoled into moving. You stay there. Peter or no Peter, you stay there. So let's not blame him. Let's blame the political nomads.
Blame the people governed by their political appetite.
All right, Mr. Oku. Peter know they give shish. I'm wondering the feasibility of embarking in politics in Nigeria. By the way, in any clan without shish. How can you be able to execute political projects without money? And talking about the last election, like in ENUGU here, all the National Assembly members who were elected under the platform of the Labour Party that rode on the back of Mr. Peter Obi, without any exception, they've all gone. All the state legislators who were elected under the same platform, except one, have also gone. And practically, we started rebuilding from scratch. Now, I want to ask you how different this era of recruitment is with the last, that 2023 recruitment. Because we saw the primary conducted by NDC, at least in ENUGU here. There were, almost every candidate had their own primaries, but somebody emerged. You talked about knowing people's credentials to be able to associate with him. How were these people that have emerged now, that emerged again now, how was their credentials, assayed to be able to, decide that they will represent the party? For instance, you are from ENUGU West. Who is the House of Representatives candidate of your constituency? What is his political antecedent? Where has he worked before? What has he done before? What is his ideology? Is he left of the center or right of the center? Or is he right there at the center? And who is even the senatorial candidate? Has he ever been in politics? Who has he supported before P2B and all that? The number two question is, Mr. Kwankwaso was the expected bride in the 2023 Obi's candidature. A lot of Obidians were whooping on Kwankwaso. That time he had his movement, he has his drive, and Obi, of course, was at the peak of the obedience.
Yeah.
But along the line, Kwankwaso left, and not just, he didn't leave quietly, he left with a punch right at P2B's face. He said that he was bigger than Obi. Obi was a regional player while he was a national player. Now, Kwankwaso has lost his state where he produced governor, and Obi has lost almost all the National Assembly and State Assembly members that were elected under him. Do you think that this coalition is what it should have been in the 2023, or did we lose it? Have the opportunity of a P2B Kwankwaso presidency been lost?
Well, like I said, I am not a member of any political party. I'm also not a member of NDC. We are merely speculators or commentators from the side. So as an informed politician or practicing public person, we can make comments and observe. Now, I see a repeat of the 2003 scenario with Peter Obi's coattails. A lot of people are following his coattails. Like I said, he's a major contender come January against the incumbent. It's a straight fight between the APC and NDC in January. A lot of people, particularly in the southeast, are going to cash in big on that. So he has coattails. A lot of people just join whatever he is. Once he moves, they move with him. Whether they believe in what he's saying or not, they believe that once they can get onto Peter's coattails, it enhances their electoral chances. So we can't stop that. That is a human factor. That's a human issue. So I see it repeating itself. Asking me whether this person has done that. I wouldn't know. In fact, I don't even know. ADC played their ticket close to the chest. I don't know if they released it. They played it, even other parties like APC played it close to the chest. Except that in some areas, governors, I think, bought the tickets and handed over to their minions. So what is playing out is another funny game. But like I said, people are looking at all the ticket. People are looking at all the ticket, and whatever happens below, so be it. So what we are going to see is a situation where a straight fight between the incumbent and the resurgent NDC. Recall it, but it's not today. After all, recall that even Dixon, who were sitting with me in AD at the Puchipo Cultural Center when we were doing AD, saying he's even bigger than Peter, that he's a more qualified presidential candidate. Why didn't he run? He needs to come and make claims on TV. Go and run. Let's see. So that's by the way. So the important thing is that let us see how it plays out. Let's see how it plays out.
What about the Obi shishi? If without the shishi,
yes. Let me address that. You see, the shishi you're talking about is giving people gratification, which is even an electoral offense. You see people stand online, you give them 10,000 for 5,000, or give cash for votes. Peter will never do that. But there's what is called political logistics. That is a must. You can't run away from it. And Peter does it. You must provide for the agents. You must provide for campaign. You must provide posters. You must provide jingles. You must make noise. You must provide T-shirt. You must move around. Moving around costs money. So that is logistics, not shishi.
The accusations seem to really be serious. No, this is not the first time people are coming out to say that Peter Obi is stingy. And just like we also mentioned, it's not like we're talking about it from the angle of bribery.
Yes.
Politics is a game of numbers.
Yes.
And also a game of money.
Yes.
You need money to carry out, different activities, to fund these meetings from the wards and different, secretariats and what have you, to gather momentum and get some of your agendas carried out. But it seems Peter Obi, people believe that he is stingy in this angle. Not only does he not give out money, but he seems to be doing it in an individual way, like his opinion is always his opinion. It doesn't work like he has the group of people he's with. How can this affect his race come 2027? Do you think people can openly identify with such character?
If you have the kind of Peter Obi or say Rabiu Kwankwanso momentum, which Buhari had, which I mean you kind of had, you don't bring money. Zig never brought money. What happens that people bring? You need that momentum, that towering figure, or a political titan. Then the money for elections coming. Aminu Kano had that. Buhari had it. I can tell you that Buhari is not a cash man. But whenever he stands, the money bags bring in the money. Same thing, Peter. Peter is a money bag. That's the difference. He has the cash, personally. But he doesn't share money to buy your conscience or buy you to come and follow him. But a lot of people, and then the movement funds itself. Last time around, even Kenneth Okonkwo made allusions to it. People threw in their lot. And he can tell you that in our area, where Labour perform, people threw in their resources to make sure that the ticket delivered. I recall that at my polling unit, a group of people from part of my ward bought rice and chicken and brought soft drinks and said they should give it to me to share. These are people making contribution, not Peter.
That's very interesting. We hope that such thing will repeat itself so that I can share from the chicken and rice. Now let's look at it this way.
Yeah.
Let's go back into your political presidency and some of the exploits.
Yeah.
You had a very, let's say, in the court with the victim on the Apoga days, and eventually lost to. How do you bring that in when we have a lot of intra-party? It's still within when you are in Apoga. You now say you stepped aside, you formed coalition. Comment on intra-party crisis in Nigeria and how that has given room to even the mega parties or the main party at the center building stooges and opposition because they notice cracks within the ranks and files of parties.
Yes, you see, you cannot dismiss or completely eliminate intra-party dissension and storm, when interests conflict. The thing that worries me is a tendency to always take everything to court. In a place where you have a developed democracy, things are settled in-house. You hardly go to court. How many times have you heard the Democratic Party or the Republican Party end up in court, or the Conservative Party or Labour Party or even Liberal in the UK head to court? Everything court. The courts have become the major integers for electoral and for political settlement in Nigeria. Every case goes to court. The Supreme Court and the court determine who is going to be president or who is going to be senator, who is going to be governor. The award is final. It should not be. And the reason why people go to court is that, you know, the process is so rigged, so fraudulent. But if it had been fair, because I know the time of the election in Anambra, all the candidates considered, nobody went to court. They came and considered to Peter, because the election was free and fair. So once elections are free and fair and reflect the wishes of the people, people hardly go to court. So the courts have become a major factor in our electoral political process. In our own experience, there was some disagreement. We moved up to Supreme Court. I know why we lost at the Supreme Court. I will not say it here because it would be embarrassing, but we lost. So, but that's by the way.
Mr. Ogu, you talked about, you gave examples with the, Senate claims where everything does not end up in the courts. Would the remarkable difference between what is happening there and what is happening here not be because the elections are, largely transparent,
correct.
Compared to what we have here?
Correct.
And I want to put it bluntly to you. I mean, who is deceiving who? A man who couldn't hold local government elections in 8 years, can he change Nigeria in 4 years?
Well, that's a hard one. Let me put it this way, that throughout Nigeria, all governors have come short on the issue of local government. That Section 7 is not where it is written, that the system of local government councils by this.
Are you saying Mr. P2B is not different from
I'm saying that all the governors of Nigeria have failed Nigerians on that section. So what I'm saying is, if no local government election was conducted, that's a junior league. Now we're playing our championships.
That's an indictment on his democratic credentials. If Mr. P2B could fail woefully, excuse me, on a very important aspect of our political discourse, something as important as the local government system, and he failed for 8 good years. And it's not like people we are not talking about or agitating for that. But Mr. P2B, like most other Nigerian governors, in fact, some others are even better because they pretended to do it, but Peter, not for one day. And you are marketing him as a Democrat, as a very civilized man that does things differently from other politicians. And here you say you are actually putting him forward in the same basket that you are putting forward the other politicians. Does it mean that Obi is, one of the, maybe Mr. Sowore is right at last, that, addendum?
Well, like I said, that's a difficult one. The fact of the matter remains that that one is junior league. We are not in championship. Let's leave junior league. Let's leave junior league alone.
Okay. And the junior league kept aside. It's like saying if you have, as a governor, done what is right, like using the Jesus allusion through the first two. So all Nigerian governors, past and present, have failed in the area of local government election. Now, Najoku, probably we are getting to the end of it, but then let's look at it. Where do we go from here? The Nigerian, we moved from intra-party, you talked about it. Now that we've seen Nigeria, is Nigeria moving to the brinks of one-party system? We are not even sure NDC is in court. We are not even sure they are going to come out. The delay is that you, a member of that constituency, we now have selectorate, not electorate. The court has taken over electoral system. I want you to comment on that so that I don't bother you so much.
Well, you see, the fact of the matter remains that our democracy is supposed to be developing. But in the last few years, with the split of everybody moving to one party, it is retrogression in my own books. Retrogression. Why would everybody want to join the party at the center? They say they're taking me to the center. I recall that when Dim came back in 1983, he said he was taking us to the center. Later on, sometime a few years ago, his son came and said he's taking us to the center. This center, who did it help? Recall that Tinubu refused to go to center. He fought Obasanjo. Obasanjo seized local government funds of Lagos State. They went to court and defeated Obasanjo at the Supreme Court. He never went to center. What he did, he moved in and captured the center with Buhari. So this migration to join the center is anti-democratic, let's be honest. And somehow or the other, the government, the party in government seems to be encouraging it. And why would every single party that creates or seems to bring out some semblance of another view suddenly have crisis? Some urchins are mobilized, they go to court, and suddenly the INEC begins to rule left and rule right. So it's not a welcome development, it's a very dangerous development. We are moving backwards. And the funny thing is that the people who seem to be at the back of this are those who claim the pro-democracy credentials. So at times, credentials could be deceptive, but that's by the way. What I'm merely saying is that we must find a way to rescue this country. And this January march is a kind of last stand or last chance for this country to be rescued democratically.
So if you meet Mr. Peter B today, would you advise him to stick to the pact, or would you ask him to tear the paper?
I'll ask him to remain firm on his promise. He made a firm promise. It's one term, I think he can deliver in 4 years. He can reset Nigeria. He may not solve all the problems, but let him reset Nigeria on a path of progress. It can be done.
All right.
You believe that the blow that can kill is not necessarily going to fill the basket?
It can be done. It can be done.
All right. So thank you so much for staying with us. But just in a few seconds,
Yes.
if you have any word you'd like to share with us as a parting shot, we'd like to hear it. Just in a few seconds before we go.
Yes, Nigerians are urged to be hopeful. Let us try and be optimistic and try to see that our country doesn't go down the drains. Everything is looking bleak at the moment. But with popular agitation and civil will, the people must be vigilant. The people must take back their country. That's the only way it can be done. I don't want anybody to come and say, I am my colleagues. They kill this country. The people determined can express their will and see that it prevails. It can be done.
It can be done. All right. Thank you so much. All right, Dorako, it's time for us to leave now.
Yes, thank you. And that's where we draw the curtain on this edition of the interview with our guest, Mazi Oku, a veteran lawyer and politician, and they say a retired politician now. So thank you for having been with us all this while. We hope you will join us again next time we invite you.
Why not?
So this is where we draw the curtain on this edition of Morning Show. My name is Christian Chibuzo Maduka. I have my colleagues here.
Of course, my name is Christopher Lele, and of course, Ginger, take it off.
And I am Dr. Ginger Ibename. It was a wonderful time with Chifoku and you guys.
All right.
Please don't go away.
Yeah, so this is where we leave you in the hands of our Abuja that will be doing justice to the studios. A conversation over there. Stay with us.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on e-vibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
I should try harder, so...
Okay, I don't know that one.
Outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hub's on e-vibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
Tired of the snow? Tired of the bad TV signals? Nigeria has gone digital. Introducing Free TV, the national platform for every Nigerian. Get 100 plus channels immediately. Sports, news, and entertainment in your native language with clear picture quality. Whether you're in the city or the village, our satellite signal reaches every corner of 36 states from day one. No monthly subscription, just a compatible decoder and you are set. It's a national asset built for you. Take the show on the road, download the free TV app and stream your favorite channels anywhere. Starting this May, scan to download the app or call 0700 388 7277. Free TV, digital TV for free. Brought to you by NBC.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them at one point in time